Ferry. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Yeah, interestingly, I mean, looking at all of these headlines, so many parties are registered, and today we see over 10 applications facing INEC in terms of new political parties waiting to register. But we've seen some of those who have even been registered. But from what you've observed, all this registration, all these calculations, do you think the people are finally going to get an opportunity to eventually, maybe first let their vote count, and then the people who they select or elect will actually be representative, or true representative of the people?
Well, looking at the whole scenario, one thing is very clear. I think we are seeing the end of politics in Nigeria. Yes. The way initially, when we were coasting to this level, and when the APC was coming up, I remember General Babangida saying that his vision for a two-party state has come to pass. And initially, the promoters of APC were saying that, look, yes, we're not going to have two strong parties, PDP and APC and the rest. But after that, now we have seen PDM registered, VOP coming up yesterday, and then about 10 parties now are applying for registration because the stakes are just too high. Everybody is like, they say in Yoruba land that the day the elephant dies, you see all manner of the knives. Everybody wants to grab this thing, and they're not trusting each other that, oh, if I go and join him, when we get this thing, we share it very well. So let me go with my outfit. And that's why you are seeing all manners of parties. But interestingly, the more the parties are coming, the less the people are having choices, because they are looking alike, they are talking the same, and like Kaniji said, you see, because and they're coming out promising all kind of things. But Kaniji said that as I grow older, I've learned to watch what men are doing rather than what they are saying, and that's where the rubber will hit the road.
In all of this, trying to look at it, what does this mean for us as a nation? Because initially, as you rightly said, the former president did say he thought we're actually coasting into a two-party nation, but now we're getting to see the multiplicity of political parties coming into the fray leading up to this particular election in 2015.
Yeah.
Isn't that what some would describe as the beauty of democracy?
Well, it would have been the beauty of democracy if it's...
it would have been.
Yes, it would have been if it's about the forces of regeneration coming up. What you are seeing out there is just the same set of people who are splintering, dividing themselves into different formations. In any case, the people who can afford to even say that they want to form parties today are those who have looted resources and funds to play around with. People can just go to INEC now to say we want to form political parties. When you look at most of the parties that are coming up, so-called new parties, because for as far as I'm concerned, they are the same old wine in different in new bottles, and it's the same forces, the same character, and that's why it's in Nigeria. They say that the more things change, the more they remain the same. So we are talking about new parties, but they are not new. They are the same. They are more of the same or same of the same.
A lot of people will be surprised that you're saying this when you say they're not new. For instance, let's look at the APC now before we talk about the PDM. The APC that had come together, we have almost 3 political parties, the AC and the CPC and a part of APGA and even ANPP coming in to form what they call the progressives. They had to put an S there so that you know that they are a whole lot different from what the status quo is. So for the progressives, as they call themselves, are you also saying that they are the same, maybe old wine in a new bottle?
Well, maybe you may get some sprinklings here and there, but when you look at it in the main, I mean, it's all the same forces, and that's why when you look at their manifestos, for instance, hardly can you distinguish one from the other. When you look at what they are saying, what they are promising, all of them is same empty platitudes. And permit my lewdness, if that is it, like a columnist put it very beautiful on Sunday when he said that, look, these are guys who are, most of them are looking like Casanovas. I want to get a lady to bed and they are promising all kind of things. I buy you a car, I will take you to the moon. I will do all kind of things and the rest. When I look at it, they are just, nothing thought through. No ideology defining all these things. For instance, if we talk about APC, for instance, I looked at the 31-page document, their manifesto. You will see some wish list, but when you look at it, there is nothing ideological thread tying all these things together. They are, for instance, talking of when you say you want to give us 40,000 megawatts of electricity in 4 to 8 years, you just know that somebody just wrote something on paper. How do you want to do that? In 4 years, 40,000 megawatts? Where we are today? They are telling us, okay, yes, we want to put 10% of our budget on education. And I say, okay, 10% on education. UNESCO is recommending 26%. And for that kind of thing, maybe you can go to a place like Kuma and they'll clap for you. But where I come from, I remember that as far back as between 1955 and 1965 in Western Nigeria, the least that was ever voted on education was 29% of the budget. In fact, at the stage we went to as much as 41%. So 60 years after, you're not telling me that we want to put 10% on education. Then you say, okay, yes, we fight corruption. How? Like I said earlier on, if you say you want to fight corruption, and a lot of your own chieftains are either really of corruption or before EFCC, corruption is there, we're laughing.
You say a lot of them?
Oh, yes. There's, look, the benefit you're having this time around is that all these new so-called new parties are coming up. Most of their chieftains have been in government between 1999 and now. So like Kaneji said, so it's not more of what you are saying, but what you are doing. But the fundamental thing, which I think they have shied away from today, is the fact that the greatest problem confronting Nigeria today is this 1999 constitution.
How?
It's a constitution that has enslaved the whole country. Every problem you see in Nigeria today, one way or the other, you can trace to the constitution. Because we pretend that we are a federal republic of Nigeria, yet what we have is a unitary constitution. And that constitution is promoting corruption, that's promoting waste, that's promoting underdevelopment, that's ensuring that we are equalizing underdevelopment. I will tell you, in 1999, when we started this experiment, the incidence of poverty in Nigeria was 46%. Today, it's over 70%. It's stark poor. And yet, look at our resources. Between 1999 and now, the resources that are coming to this country is more than what we have made between 1960 and 1999. Why is it that poverty is increasing? And yet, on one extreme, you have extreme poverty. On the other extreme, you have obscene wealth by politicians. People who are taking a to Abuja in 1999, today have flying jets. A governor was telling us that my jet is not 9 billion naira, it's only 7 billion naira. Today they are promising us voice of the people. So the question, and today we should be talking about this, restructuring this country, changing this constitution. But what we have read even in APC manifesto, so say, okay, the constitution is a sacred document. The only place they are talking about amending the constitution is a land use act. So, and anybody today that's coming forward that's not addressing the structure of this country, it's not starting anywhere.
We have some APC gentlemen, they've been here some time ago, and they talked about how they are different from the ruling political party, how they want to bring in change. And then they say here that if you look at their governors, they're progressive minded, they're going about infrastructural development differently. They talk about road construction, they talk about buildings, they talk about putting in place service delivery, structures that are working. And they also say that that's part of what they want to export to the larger society and make sure that things are properly developed and work well. So what about infrastructural development? Don't they have a point when they say that?
Well, like I said, I'm sorry to give you, if you go to Kuma and you are telling them all these things, you cannot tell people who have a rich history behind them that in 2013, the other day I wept when I saw in Ibadan that the governor was commissioning one footbridge. And I saw people attired in Ashwebi. for a breach at this age